Hello, welcome to this Joyful Living series. As the world struggles to get back to normal after a long setback by the coronavirus, I wish to share a few thoughts with you in this video. First of all, I wish to say a big thank you to all those who have labored to save the lives of COVID-19 patients at the very risk of their own lives. You are heroes. May God bless you and keep you. May He shine His face upon you and grant you peace. I pray for the families that have lost someone to this virus, and I say to you, be consoled. And to the countries and persons badly hit by this coronavirus, I say to you, courage. God will see you through. And for the dead, may they rest in peace. COVID-19 has brought humanity to the reality of human fragility and the understanding that all our civilization can be easily overthrown by any of the many things we are not in control of. We humans are finite, and so is everything about us. At the same time, we have seen the power of resilience in refusing to give up, in confronting the problems head on, in the belief that God will not let His people perish. This is another side of the reality. By extension, it reminds us that no condition is permanent, be it good or bad condition. Weeping may tarry for the night, but joy comes with the morning. And this has consequences for the way we approach the things that happen to us in life. Everyone who has lived long enough knows that change is the one thing that is constant. Be it change in your circle of friends and their level of loyalty and faithfulness, or changes in your finance, status, position, private or public life. And more importantly, it could be changes in your spiritual life. In all the ways that the wave of life may throw us around, the only thing that is worth holding on to is God. We see people like Sarah, Hannah, and Elizabeth, who were already written off as barren women, end up being mothers to the most important persons in the history of Israel and in the history of human salvation. We have also seen others condemned as irredeemable sinners, taking the first place in the inner circle of Jesus' companions. By just thinking of Levi, the tax collector, who later became Matthew, is enough for the moment. These are of great encouragement to know that there is no situation in our lives that cannot be changed for the better. As the saying goes, for every sinner there is a future. In the same way, for everyone undergoing difficult situation at the moment, there is always a dream of a future filled with hope. When the time of weeping is over, like in the case of the Israelites in Babylon, the promise of the Lord will surely be fulfilled. He said it to them through Jeremiah, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope." And He fulfilled it when their period of captivity was over. And just as every sinner has a future, so also has every saint a past. Knowing that those who are successful today have their painful stories behind them is an encouragement that the setback of the present period of pandemic will be overcome. There are those who never came close to the reality of COVID-19 but are struggling with other problems like insecurity, bad political situations, economic hardships, and other personal difficulties. To them and to all who have survived or are surviving the COVID-19 pandemic, I say to you, stay strong. There is no retreat and no surrender to the problems of life. As noted in letter to the Romans chapter 8, verse 37, in all these things, we are more than conquerors through him who loved us. If God has kept us going, he will lead us to the end. When the remnants of Israel in exile returned to Judah to rebuild the city and the temple, Ezra the scribe read out the book of the law in the process. It then became clear to them that they had two-pronged problems. One was material and the other was spiritual. It was not only that the city was in ruins and needed so much work to get it back to shape, but they have also wandered far away from keeping the law of God as laid down for them. That cut them to the heart. But in the midst of their weeping, Nehemiah, Ezra, and the Levites who taught the people said to them, "Go your way, eat the fat and drink sweet wine, and send portions to anyone who has nothing ready. For this day is holy to our Lord. And do not be grieved, for the joy of the Lord is your strength." Realizing the true state of things was enough reason to be glad, because they have become aware of which direction their lives ought to go. In rebuilding our material losses following the pandemic, let us not lose sight of the fact that it is for the Lord that we live. Romans chapter 14 verse 8 has said that if we live for the Lord. And if we die for the Lord. So whether we live or die, we belong to the Lord. In the light of this text, I wish to commend the dead to the abundant mercy of God, that he may grant them eternal rest. I equally commend you to the abundant grace and love of God to guide and protect you as you lovingly live for his glory and the good of those around you. May the Lord grant you restoration in all aspects of your life. Thanks for watching.